All right, I've put the function generator up here in the rack. I'm getting rid of my old sweep generator, put that up on eBay. One thing I wanted to do was measure the distortion of this thing. Since it's digitally synthesized, it's got little steps. They're probably smoothed out, but I want to make sure that the total harmonic distortion is okay. So I have a cable here running over to my Keithley 2015, which has total harmonic distortion built into it. And the way that works is that it actually captures a waveform and does a Fourier transform on it, takes a look at the spectral content, measures the power in the harmonics, and the power in the harmonics as a percentage of the total gives you the total harmonic distortion. So you just push the shift button and THD, and it just automatically measures total harmonic distortion. You don't have to, no settings, no nothing, you just push the button and it works. It's great. So I've got 1 kilohertz running in, and our distortion is very, very low, 0.01%, which is great. So let's increase frequency, 15 kilohertz, same, 21 kilohertz. Oh, now 21 kilohertz, it says overflow. So why does it say overflow? Well, total harmonic distortion is only defined between 20 hertz and 20 kilohertz. So if we move this down to 20 kilohertz, we can now measure total harmonic distortion. We can also measure frequency on this meter, which is nice. Why is it measuring low? It probably needs to have more amplitude. And the counter needed more amplitude. There we go. Needs a lot more amplitude. So this counter function does not. I've never used this counter function before. Counter function is pretty poor. It needs quite a bit of voltage to measure accurately. I did measure the accuracy of this thing on my frequency counter over here. We have it set to 20 kilohertz, and you can see that it's measuring 20 kilohertz exactly. So this is off of a rubidium standard, so this thing is spot on. It does take a warm-up. When you first turn it on, it's a bit high, but after it warms up, it comes down low. So I think there's an upgrade option for this device where you can get a temperature control oscillator in it, or a connector on the back that you can hook up your rubidium standard to this to make it super accurate. But hey, this is good enough. It seems to be spot on, which is great. Okay, so let's go back over here. Make sure everything is in frame. All right, so let me move the BNC back over, and we'll lower our amplitude here to 100 millivolts, because that's what I'm going to be using. And we'll go back to total harmonic distortion. There we go. Okay. So basically, no matter what frequency you set this thing to, you're measuring about 0.01%. Let's go down to the low frequencies. Let's do 10 hertz. And that's not defined, remember? So we have to go up to 20 hertz. And at 20 hertz, it's measuring about 0.01, 0.02. And that might be the noise of the system, so let's change the amplification up a bit. It does bounce around a bit. So at 20 hertz, it's bouncing a bit. 30 hertz, 40 hertz. A 100 hertz. 100 hertz is perfect again. So it does get a bit bumpier down at the bottom end. 50 hertz. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to run the function generator into the audio buddy, and then the audio buddy will be measured by the Keithley, and we'll measure the distortion introduced by the preamp section. So we're going to put in 100 millivolts, and it'll amplify it up to about 1 volt. And okay, so this is going to go. Let's see. I'll get that on camera here. Okay, so the auto buddy is over here. So this is the output of the generator, and that will go here. And the output of the generator will go into this XLR connector, into the box. And then the out, so we're going to go into channel 2. We're coming out of channel 2 on this cable here, and that cable will go into the Keithley. And so let's come back up. All right. So what frequency are we at? 50 hertz, looking good. 100 hertz, looking good. 1 kilohertz, looking good. 16 kilohertz. Yeah, maybe double. Maybe double. Maybe triple there. Let's see here. So here at 20, yeah, it's come up a bit. 0.03. So it's come up a little bit in distortion at higher frequencies. And remember, the Bode plot for this particular amplifier was starting to roll off there, so it's probably entering some distortion. And then if we go down to the low end, enter 20 hertz. We're bumping up around 0.3 again. See, 30 hertz. Ooh, 30 hertz is 0.04. That's not good. 40 hertz. 0.23. 50, 60 hertz. 60 hertz, it's nice and quiet again. So below 60 hertz, it has a little more distortion, and I think we saw that in the Bode plot as well. All right. So let's go back over here, and I am going to move our input to channel 1 and our output to channel 1. There we go. And then we'll come back up. And we're measuring very good here at 60, 0.01, 50, 0.01, 40. It's bouncing around a bit, but then this thing bounced around a bit down there. 30, 0.2, 20, 0.1, 0.2. So the IMSAI 217 has a lower distortion at the low end. And I thought I heard a little bit of distortion in the bass, but you never know about audio stuff. Let's go up in frequency. Let's go to 1 kilohertz. 1 kilohertz, we're looking good. And let's go to 16 kilohertz. Oops. 16 kilohertz, ooh, still looking great. Let's bump it up. 17, 19, 20. It's perfect. So the IMSAI 217 has very low distortion across the entire audio range, and I think outside the audio range too. Although it's not defined and this meter won't measure it, I think we saw that the gain bandwidth of the IMSAI was much higher than the other op amp. So yeah, shows up in the measurements. Okay, the other thing I wanted to show you here, since we have the distortion meter hooked up, is we have a clipping light on a preamp, and you can turn up the gain of your preamp until the clipping light comes on, and you know that you're too high and you're clipping. So clipping actually adds distortion to the signal. So we have a little red light there. So let's see if we can see that on the distortion meter. All right, so we're at 0.01%, and we're not clipping. and I will turn up the gain until I start to see the red light. So I'm starting to see the red light right there, and we're still okay. So I'm going to go just a little bit further, and the red light's gotten brighter, and you can see there the total harmonic distortion has just jumped up. Now it's 0.06, and I'll continue to turn the gain knob up. There we go, 0.1, 0.2. So it's clipping really badly now, 0.2% distortion. So I'm going to lower it back down, and right about there, the light is just flickering. So the clipping light's coming on just before you clip, which is a good thing. So most people recommend that you adjust your clipping so your gain, bring it up until it starts to clip, and then turn the knob back some amount. And it depends on your preamp, but you'll have to fiddle with that to give you enough room. You also need to make sure that you set your preamp to a loud situation. So if you're singing into it or talking into it, you have to make sure that you're at the very loudest point in the song, or the very loudest thing you're going to say. It doesn't clip. So make sure that you have the gain set lower. It's always better to be lower than higher.